Have you ever noticed how strangely time works? When I was a kid, summers seemed endless, but now the years fly by like a day. But what if I told you that time doesn't exist at all? That the past and the future are just an illusion? Imagine you're holding an old photograph. You're small, laughing carefree. You know for a fact that this moment was real. But where is it now? In your memory? In your imagination? If the past exists, why can't you go back to it? And if the future is already written, why can't you see it as clearly as the present? Physicists have long puzzled over the nature of time. Some see it as a flow, others see it as just our interpretation of reality. But what if the truth is somewhere in between? Let's figure it out. We used to think that time flows, seconds turn into minutes, minutes into hours, days replace each other, and we move through life, leaving the past behind and approaching the future. But what if this is just an illusion? Our brains are designed to capture events through memory. The past is simply stored memories. The future is our expectations, predictions, fears. But where do they exist? Only in our minds. The present is a tiny moment that slips away as soon as we try to capture it. Physics tells us that there is no objective now. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is not universal. It can slow down or speed up depending on conditions. At one point in the universe now can mean one thing, at another point in the universe it can mean something completely different. Does this mean that our perception of time is just a subjective program built into our brains? But if that's the case, then why do we all feel that time is going forward? Why can't we go back in time or look into the future the same way we look back or look forward on the street? If time is real, then it can be measured. If it is just an illusion, why does the clock tick the same for everyone? The answer is more complicated than it seems. Albert Einstein was the first to show that time is not an absolute constant. According to his theory of relativity, it slows down when traveling at high speeds and near massive objects. This is not science fiction, but a proven fact. Atomic clocks on tabs satellites go a little faster than on Earth because they are farther away from the planet's gravitational field. But here's something that really blows your mind. According to the general theory of relativity, past, present, and future exist simultaneously. It all depends on the observer. Imagine someone is millions of light years away from us. Because of the limited speed of light, he can see dinosaurs on Earth right now. Which means the past hasn't disappeared anywhere, it's just not available to us. Quantum mechanics goes even further. Some scientists believe that time is a side effect of entangled quantum particles. In other words, it's not fundamental, but arises only within our reality. But if the past and future exist simultaneously, why do we only move forward? Why can't we go back to the past as easily as we go to the store? If science says the past, present, and future exist simultaneously, why do we experience time as if it were moving forward? Perhaps all of our lives are just perceptions and time is a product of our consciousness. Buddhism and Taoism have taught for thousands of years that time is an illusion. In reality, only the present moment exists and the past and future are merely constructs of the mind. The Stoics in ancient Rome said, "The future does not belong to you, live in the present." Perhaps they knew more than we realize. The philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that time is not an external reality, but a structure of our thinking. It does not exist by itself, but only helps us organize events. In fact, without consciousness, there would be no past, no future, and not even the concept of now. Experiments confirm this. In one study, people were shown a series of images and then abruptly changed the picture. Their brains filled in the gap so that the changes looked smooth. So the perception of time is not an objective reality, but a work of the mind that creates the illusion of a continuous flow. But if time is just a habit of mind, can we learn to manage it? Is it possible to live life differently if we change the way we look at time? If the past and future are just constructs of the mind, and only the present moment is real, how does this change our lives? First, the fear of the future disappears. Most of our anxieties have to do with what might happen tomorrow, a week from now, or a year from now. But if the future doesn't exist yet, why fear it? All we have is now, and it is this moment that shapes what comes next. Second, regret about the past disappears. We are accustomed to look back, to go over mistakes and missed opportunities in our heads. But if the past is already locked in our memory and does not exist as a physical reality, why waste energy on it? Most importantly, realizing the illusion of time allows us to truly live in the moment. Many spiritual practices, such as meditation and mindfulness, are aimed precisely at bringing one back to the present. The more you focus on the here and now, the fuller and brighter your life becomes. But if time doesn't exist, then what is left? What reality are we actually experiencing? So what is it now? If time doesn't exist, if the past and future are just illusions, and all we have is the present moment, then how do we live with that? Look around you. Everything you see, feel, hear is right now. This moment you are in is the only moment that has ever existed. The past is gone, the future is gone. But we continue to live as if we are running down a hallway expecting something important to be waiting for us around the next corner. But what if there is no turn? If everything we're looking for is already here? Perhaps realizing the illusion of time is the key to total freedom. Freedom from regrets, from fears, from the endless chase for a future that never comes. So now it's your turn. You can continue to live your life as before, or you can stop right now, take a deep breath, and realize for the first time that you're already where you've always wanted to be. Do you ever feel like time is just a game of our minds?